How's it going, everybody? My name is Dan Garcia, and it's been a long time since I've made a video for this channel. I finally arrived at Duke University, as you can tell behind me. I'm in my dorm, and I've kind of been busy trying to get into the whole college process, making friends, getting into classes, what college is really about. But I got a lot of requests from my essay video to do a stats video, so I have all of the stats right here. And I'm just gonna go through it, what it takes to be a Duke student. And before I go through it, I just want to talk about something really briefly. I made a video called "You Don't Have to Be a God to Get Into Your Dream School," and I kind of want to affirm that again. I am by no means valedictorian. I am by no means, one of my state's smartest people. I'm just a guy who's passionate about the stuff that I care about. So, I want to start off with my GPA. My GPA was a 3.78 unweighted and a 4.6 weighted. Hopefully your school runs like this, but if you don't know how my school's GPA work, basically an A is a 4, a B is a 3, a C is a 2, and so on. You take all of the end grades from each of those classes and average it into your GPA for your unweighted. So 3.78, which means I had a decent amount of B's. I was not a straight A student. I struggled in a lot of English and, social science classes. My weighted was 4.6. which means that if I took an AP or honors class, I would receive a 5.0 for getting an A and a 4.0 for getting a B. So my weighted was 4.6, and what that means is, yes, I did get a bunch of A's in a lot of honors courses and a lot of APs. I took 11 AP classes out of, the 16, 20-ish I could have taken total. So my schedule was pretty rigorous, and it did challenge me every now and then. It kind of was smooth sailing in some places. So yeah, I got A's in a lot of them, but I did get B's in a bunch. And for class rank, I was in the top 10% of my school, but I was nowhere near valedictorian. I was not the top grader, probably not even the top 10 people at my school of 3,000. So just, some reassurance, you don't need perfect grades to get into a good university. Wabam! Now we're on to ACT and SAT scores. So my SAT was a 1460 and my ACT was a 34. I took both of these once. I did not study for either, not to brag, but I'm just telling you, where I lie yet. So basically, for both of these, took it the first time, no studying. I took the SAT after my ACT. I really liked a lot better. It went a lot quicker, and there was a science portion that I did really well on. I did not super score. I just got a 34 composite. It was 35 in everything, and then I think reading I got a 31, which averages out to a 34 total score. My SAT was 1460, as I said. It was 700 read writing and 760 on the math portion. I ultimately obviously used my ACT instead of my SAT. My ACT is equivalent to about 1540 on the SAT, so those are my test scores. 34, my ACT is in the 75th percentile of Duke accepted students. For my essays, I do have a video to my Common App essay. I'll probably put in the description, if not a link right on my face or something right now. My other essays, my Why Duke essay and my diversity essay, since I applied early decision, were okay. Nothing really stunning, but my Common App, So for my Common App, I got a lot of feedback, and people said it was a really good essay, some of the best they've ever read. Not written, I wrote it. Some of the best I've ever read. I think it was a really good concept. I put it all together. It was really unique. So I want to say my Common App was good. That's what I put on the paper. But my others were okay and decent. I want to talk about extracurriculars now. Why am I pointing at the lamp? So my extracurriculars, I did ultimately put 6 on my Common App. And by no means, don't try to fill all 10 on your EC list, your activities list for your Common App, if you don't have them or if it feels like you're forcing it. I had 6 that I put on my app, but ultimately there are 3 I really want to talk about. So the first one is I volunteered at a wildlife conservancy for 4 years. I helped with trash cleanup, education, protection of the native species, removal of invasive species. I was a tour guide. I helped lead volunteer groups every other week to come in and clean up the conservancy. So that was something that I did. I was very invested in that. Took a program for youth leadership at the conservancy. So I was, really involved in that. I was an intern, at a congressional office for a year. It was during my senior year. I took calls. I helped write some correspondence. It really opened me to the political field. There was a lot of hostility, a lot of hatred. I guess I did work for a Republican after Trump was elected, so it was a lot of hostility, I guess you could say. But again, a lot of political experience that I got from that, and it was really useful for helping me determine what I want to do here. And lastly, and this one I think actually was probably the thing I was most involved in, and it wasn't all that unique, was that I was a track athlete for 4 years. I have a very interesting story with track I might talk about in another video, but to make things, I guess, really short, I first ran sprints, the 100 and 200 meter, but then I realized I wasn't performing well, and I got into longer and longer distances until I was running the mile, and the mile and 800 were actually my best events. So there's a little story behind that. I spent a lot of time in track. I did weekend practices, summer practices, break practices. Track was a year-round thing for me and was really into it. Somehow I didn't become a captain, even though I feel like I kind of should have been more integrated into the leadership there, I guess you could say, but it's okay. I got really involved in that, and I learned a lot from being in track. On to more boring stuff, my letters of recommendation. I was not a teacher's pet. In fact, most teachers were okay with me, but I wasn't, universally loved. I didn't participate super often. I participated like a normal person, but I did not participate super often. So my letters of recommendation were pretty average. No teacher really loved me. Actually, one sort of did, but most teachers weren't really that keen about me. I did notice a lot, though, of kids who would kind of suck up to their teachers, talk a lot, be involved a lot, ask questions that weren't really necessary, but just to act like you're participating. Don't be that kid. If you're really interested, ask questions. If you're there just because you're trying to leech off for a letter of recommendation, your teachers and your classmate will know. Okay? So, again, my letters were okay. They showed stuff that I was part of, but again, no teacher really loved me, I guess you could say. I want to end with awards. I had nothing higher than the school level. I had no state awards, I had no regional awards, I had no county awards. I was accomplished. I did a lot of stuff I was passionate about, as I said, but I didn't really have anything above the high school level. The two things that I really want to talk about are the Esprit, that I won junior year in Esprit is Esprit de Corps, which is basically like student of the year, but in like fancy schmancy terms. I was student of the year for AP biology, and when I did talk about that teacher who did sort of like me, she was the one who gave me that award. I was really good at bio, and I was able to have a class presentation for the class, and I was just really good at it, I guess, and I helped a lot of other students, but nothing special. And then I took a small $1,000 scholarship from the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education. It's a free speech on campus thing. As you can tell, I'm pretty libertarian / Republican. Don't mind the decor back there. That was just kind of like a joke / decor. So yeah, those were my awards. I didn't, win anything super awesome, amazing. And I'll just finish with some takeaways. I'm gonna be frank with you. Do I think I deserve to get into Duke? I think so, but a lot of people here are really accomplished, and I feel like sometimes I was on the lower end of stuff, but at the same time, there are things that I did that a lot of people didn't. So I feel like everyone comes to Duke with something on the table, something new to the table. The stuff that I do, no one does exactly like I do. My interests and everyone else's interests are all over the board. So if you want to come to Duke, I guess what I could say is for your stats, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a straight A student. You don't have to be a valedictorian. Your test scores can flounder a bit. It's really just about being a unique person who shows that you're passionate in what you do. So with that, I thank you for watching my Duke stats video. I hope to make more videos in the future now that I'm here and established and finally have a routine going. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon.